Good evening, folks. This is Sunday, March 24th, and this is the Factivist Report. Again, we're talking about the Senate races for November, talking about some candidates we did not speak about last week. So I'm going to turn this over to Dave.
Okay, so and I haven't really told Deb who I'm talking about. One of the first guys I'm going to talk about is someone that people just kind of take for granted one way or another, and that's Angus King. But I want to say that the Republicans are basically running on two things, and that is Donald Trump and their support for Donald Trump and Republican policies. And guess what? Neither is popular. So
it'll be less popular. I did a video this morning about their budget.
Right.
Cutting Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
Right.
I mean, we're talking trillions of dollars. We're talking about taking away disability. Okay. We're talking about pilfering food stamps. We're talking about all of that. We're essentially talking about taking away anything that benefits the American people, but making Donald Trump's tax cuts to billionaires a permanent part of our landscape. So you tell me how that works out for all of you, okay? Because I'm sure the majority of people in this country are not living the high life.
By the way, for all of you in the United States Postal Service, they use FMLA. I'm sure the Republicans would love to attack FMLA too.
Oh, yeah, they're
That
going
was
after Obamacare. They're going after all of it.
everything. So I don't know how many people know Mary Trump, but Trump's niece flags key factor that can make him hard for him to reach swing voters. People are tired of his crap. That's the bottom line. People are tired of his nonsense, and let's continue to be tired of it, because if he gets in, he's going to be dangerous. And this is from 2023, and I may have even used this before. The forgotten story of the GOP debates. Republican policies are deeply unpopular. The majority they didn't want Roe to be overturned. They didn't want, the majority of people, do you think they want book bannings? Do you think they want, so
if they wanted book bannings, they would have been crying for book bannings. Okay. Let's get real here. The Republicans are trying to send us back to the dark ages.
Right. Just to back up the whole Republicans are the party of Trump, here are some people already elected backing Trump's campaign. So, Jim Justice, Henry McMaster, Kristi Noem. You understand?
It's hard to tell whose head is further up Donald Trump's ass. Kristi Noem or Marjorie Taylor Greene or Elise Stefanik, who really they all want to be the VP, all of them.
Yep. Tate Reeves, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Ted Budd, Kevin Cramer, Lindsey Graham, who complains from time to time.
Oh,
he's still supporting him.
He's so full of shit.
Josh Hawley, John Hoeven, Cindy Hyde Smith. That's Puss Face.
Yeah.
Her. Mark Wayne Mullen, a real piece of trash.
Rick Scott,
etc., etc.
Yeah.
Yep. Etc., etc., etc. You get the point.
Birds of a feather flock together.
All right. So here are the list of senators. The ones that I haven't hit yet, and we'll talk about it. Deb and I will talk about it. But guys like Roger Wicker, Nebraska, either one of them, the Pete Ricketts or Deb Fisher, um, Kevin Kramer in North Dakota, and I don't think we've touched on the Utah seat either. So
No.
those are the ones I'm not doing. But here's some of the ones I'm doing: Angus King in Maine, and then Bernie Sanders. There are points I have to make about Bernie Sanders. Okay, there's not really a viable candidate in the Republican Party running against him, but I want to make a couple of points about him. And Maryland, we have Maryland. I'm covering that one. Connecticut, Delaware, Vermont. So here we go. Let's start. And let's start with Angus King. Okay. Angus King is in, he's been in for a very long time, and he considers himself independent. The reason he considers himself independent is back in the 90s, he was like, I don't know about all this spending. He's a fiscal conservative, or he was labeling himself a fiscal conservative. Now, to be honest with you, he's to me, and I don't know how Deb feels about it, I consider him more of a Democrat than Joe Manchin ever was.
I do too.
So he does need to stay in. Here's one thing you have to understand too.
If they
Democrats
had
aren't
an
running
asshole party, that would be a good place for Joe Manchin.
right. uh no Democrat is running against Angus King. There's a Republican running against Angus King. Okay, here's a couple things. So press releases for Angus King, and this is typically where I go just to see the guts of it. Now he's been in office, so he's the incumbent in Maine. And by the way, he's run or he is the junior senator of Maine, next to Susan Collins.
That's a pity.
Yeah, I know. Passed by Congress, King welcomes bipartisan fiscal year 2024 appropriations bill. So this is an appropriations bill. Colleagues work to bolster safety and communication between state and federal law enforcement on immigration warrants. Okay. Congressional delegation on for severe January storms. King and Patty Murray, pardon me, lead bipartisan letter urging VA to remove barriers to women veterans seeking support for sexual trauma. So this is just a few things. And here is the GOP nominee. Former GOP chair Kuzanos, sorry if I butchered your name, Ms. Kuzanos, announces bid to challenge King for Senate. She's a veteran, she's a dentist, and a first-generation American. She was voted out as party chair in 2023.
He's also a Republican. So
Also a
that should be
Republican.
fucking poison in this country right now.
Now, here,
There you go. That's all you need to know.
okay,
That's all you need to know.
there you go.
If she's
Right
standing
there.
with the orange asshole, she's mega.
You're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of this. And a lot of these guys are trying to kind of backtrack it, but at the same time use it.
No, they're not.
No.
They're trying to hide it, is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, yeah. Now here's the main GOP. I just wanted to just wanted to mention this. So, Maine GOP wants to nullify ranked choice voting. Of course they do. Maine GOP's SCOTUS brief formally filed in Trump ballot case. Let's see. That was pretty much. Okay. Maine GOP urges support for voter ID legislation.
Of course they do.
So, and there's Joel Stetkis, Maine GOP chair. Goody goody.
Life is good.
Yeah.
I feel better already.
Yep. So, just so you know, I mean, Angus King, I know he's an independent, but he works with the Democrats.
He does.
So, the next one, who has an I by his name, but you know, um, I want you guys to understand this. Bernie Sanders is 82. All right. Allies urge Bernie Sanders to run for re-election. We won't let him retire. They know how much he's done.
And they
And
know
they
how
know,
important he is.
yeah. So, ooh, stop that. How Bernie got things done in Congress without being bought off. Everybody, Deb brings it up all the time. This man was known as the Amendment King. He learned a way to get things done, not simply by sponsoring a bill, but just like adding things in current legislation
Yep.
and wheeling and dealing and making sure things get in. And here is his website. Okay. Bernie Sanders for Vermont. Services we provide, events, Vermont for seniors, Vermont for students, Vermont for veterans, Vermont press. And then a COVID page because, COVID exists still.
Yes, it does. By the way, speaking of how to get things done,
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders and AOC are now making housing the centerpiece of the Green New Deal. And that is brilliant, actually.
Okay. Makes sense. Well, also you can, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. I know he was talking about a 32-hour work week.
Yep.
We'll see how
They
that
introduced
works.
the bill.
Now, Sanders' statement on voting no on appropriations package, a lot of times what he does is he pushes for more.
Yep.
And knows full well that it's going to pass.
Yep.
But he tries to push for more. Sanders introduces legislation to guarantee paid vacation to U.S. workers. This is what Deb was talking about. Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez reintroduced Green New Deal for Public Housing Act. You know what? Take a look. So let's see. So they reintroduced essential legislation that would take on the affordable housing crisis and the existent threat of climate change. Green New Deal for Public Housing Act invests up to $234 billion over 10 years. And by the way, I don't want to hear, bloated spending, blah, blah, blah. How many, tax cuts for billionaires. Remember that? Just
Yep.
saying. Over 10 years
Actually
to
doing something to benefit the American people. Okay.
Right. So $234 billion over 10 years to transition the entire public housing stock in the United States into zero carbon, highly energy efficient homes, dramatically improving living conditions for nearly 2 million people in public housing across the country. Also creates up to $280,000 union jobs per year while reducing carbon emissions by roughly 5.7 million metric tons. The thing is, when you introduce a project like this, people have got to build the houses. People have to install whatever they have to install, whether it be solar paneling or whatever it is. This would provide a ton of jobs.
It would.
And I don't know if they would extend this to infrastructure or to like existing businesses or whatever, but this is a fantastic start actually. So here's the guy running against him. Gerald Malloy. He looks like Sam the Eagle, and he even has Sam the Eagle basically by his name. Um, so uh I'm seeking to serve Vermonters, Vermont, and the United States of America. I'm deeply concerned. It always starts with deep concern. Always, it just seems like. Um, with the direction our country is going, I have the character, experience, leadership, and performance to change it, blah, blah, blah.
I'm deeply
Okay.
concerned about the direction the country is going to. I don't actually hear anything in there about him making any statements about climate change or
Right.
making jobs for people, or this is all bullshit. Okay. He's deeply concerned. He's deeply concerned. I'm deeply concerned that the fucking GOP is even on the ballot in any state, quite frankly. This particular GOP.
I'm 61. I'm married to Stacy Malloy.
Good.
Congratulations.
Have a nice day.
We have 4 kids. I was born in Boston, and at 18, I entered West Point, served 22 years on active duty. I have served in government positions.
What are those?
For 16 years as a defense contractor, I've been successful in highly competitive business environments, blah, blah, blah.
That doesn't make
MBA
you
from
a public
Temple.
servant.
Yeah, whatever.
That does not
Uh,
make you a public servant.
Positions. Republican running for, I live in Wethersfield, Vermont, seeking to be elected. Our country is divided. This is nothing about previous positions.
Here we
I
go
offer
again.
yeah,
Our country is divided. We are polarized and stuck. We have 30 to 40-year career politicians. Well, you know what? We are the fucking ultimate decider on who gets elected or reelected. That's on the people. We are the term limit setters. Okay? So I don't know what his point is, but when I see him talking to somebody like Howie Carr and Linda Kirker, I know right off the bat he's not anybody I want to hear.
right. Would you like to see this? I'm going to see the shop. I haven't gone in here yet.
Let's see if we have any clothes. Yeah, look at that. That's great.
Oh, look at that.
Yep. Deploy Malloy. How clever. What the
There
fuck
you
is
go.
Oh, he's charging 64. So he's charging $64 to $66 for a shirt, a denim shirt, a denim jacket. I mean, a plain
And he's concerned about our economy.
a plain white shirt. Yeah, yeah. Plain white, 22 to $30. Get out of here, will you?
All right.
What a waste of space.
Now, here we're going to the Vermont GOP just for a moment. Just for, whatever. This is their homepage. Petition non-citizen voters. Now, come on. Progressive Democrats sponsored a bill, blah, 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 with the hormone blockers or other treatment without parental approval. Help us stop this overreach.
How about we stop your overreach?
Petition veto gun bill. Expand school choice.
And what that translates into is let's use public funding for private schools. Okay? That's what that is. Let's screw the public education system by giving the money that's put there to private education. That's bullshit.
Well, the other thing that I see a lot in this is repeal tax, 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 tax. We're being overtaxed. We're being overtaxed. Now, I haven't gone over each individual tax and if they're too much or whatever, but taxes are needed because if the government relied on us to donate, to things that are needed. Are you kidding me? It'd
So
be trash all over the place.
ask New Hampshire how that works. They pay no state income tax, but their property taxes are through the ceiling because they're going to get money from somewhere, and their services suck. Absolutely suck. Live free and die should be the motto.
Okay. The next one is Chris Murphy in Connecticut. He's the incumbent. Key issues. Actually, let's go to sponsored legislation. Okay. Again, he's in. Sponsored a bill to provide annual report on the prosecution activities of the coordinator for Caribbean firearms prosecutions of the Department of Justice. Okay. Single zip code for a town. Bill to establish a state public option through Medicaid to provide Americans with the choice of high quality, low cost health insurance plan. That's pretty good. Bill to authorize magistrate judges to issue arrest warrants for certain criminal aliens. Okay. So that's just a few of them. Yeah. So now I think, oh yeah, the primary hasn't happened yet. One of these guys, he doesn't even have his campaign website up yet, but there's a couple of them. Like this guy, Robert Hyde. This is Robert Hyde. Meet him. He's a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, etc., etc. Is this the guy, the one?
He won't tolerate animal abuse, but he doesn't.
There it is, right there.
Yeah. There you go.
There it
There's the
is.
answer. He
He's
doesn't.
right there with Orange Man.
Yeah.
Okay,
He
you're
won't
going to see that a
tolerate
lot.
animal abuse, but he doesn't mind it when women's rights are being taken away.
Yep. Key issues and priorities: constitutional rights, election integrity, border security, parental rights, energy independence. What the hell is no mandates?
That means no mask mandates, no vaccine
Oh,
mandates.
that okay. Ousting rhinos. So any Republican that wants to uh be bipartisan or work with the Democrats, they want to get rid of them. That's what that's about.
Protect women's sports, ban CRT,
Yep.
ban all men.
Yep.
There you go.
Oh, let's look at what the hell. Why not? Coalitions. Veterans for Hyde, bikers for Hyde,
Good for you.
students for Hyde, moms for Hyde. I'll get the hell out of here.
LGBTQ for Hyde. Who are those? Some more self-loathing of my brethren out there?
Jesus. Should we? Yeah, why not?
I mean, what?
The Hyde shop.
This is
There we
amazing.
go.
It really is. Bunch of fucking grifters.
Don't blame me. I voted Republican.
I ain't blaming you, asshole. How's that?
The hell is EJB or FJB? What the hell? Oh, of course. I was like EJB. So this guy, this is John Flynn. He doesn't even have his website up, but he has a Twitter.
That's all you need.
Connecticut is not a sanctuary state, just so you know.
Great. And it's also not any place I'd ever live, so I'm not worried
That's
about
John Flynn's campaign website.
it. Great.
So you know he's serious.
Yeah, okay, let's move along.
Tom Carper. Again, he is the incumbent and he will be running. Pretty sure.
Is he?
Pretty sure. Yeah, he is. There was one. Oh, that I always get Cardin and Carper mixed up. Cardin is Maryland, and he's retiring, but Carper, he's still in. Okay. So and I thought this was interesting because I don't think I saw anybody do this before. Please click here for important information regarding U.S. citizens in Israel seeking to safely leave the country.
Delaware is Biden's state.
Yep. Press releases. Ooh. Carper, Coons, Blunt, Rochester announced nearly, by the way, Blunt Rochester is running for this seat. Announced nearly 154. Oh, wait a minute. Is she?
I think he's retiring.
I think he is retiring. Oh, he is. He is. Sorry. He is. He's retiring. Blunt Rochester is running for his seat. Sorry.
And he has
Apologies.
I believe.
Yeah. But this is what he's doing now. This is why I put that in there, because this is what he's doing now. Raises hydrogen tax credit with Secretary Yellen. Here's from Commissioner O'Malley on Social Security Administration improvements. Urging Biden. Oh, okay. To establish a framework for U.S. recognition of a non-militarized Palestinian state. So,
he's one of the good guys.
Yep. Lisa Blunt, Rochester, she's running for a seat in the Democratic Party. Apologies. So again, there's that 150 million. She's currently in the house in a House seat in Delaware. Blunt Rochester votes to pass school safety and security funding bill. Blood Clot Awareness Month. Okay. And here we go. Yeah. And again, appropriations, help with a federal agency, flag requests, scheduling requests, send me an email. And you notice home, about, services, legislation, media, contact. Wow, there's no shop.
Yeah.
Now, we're coming to the Republican, Eric Hansen. Okay. This guy. People over politics, Deb.
Yeah.
People over politics.
Yeah.
Join our movement, support the vision.
Fix our broken school. Yeah, sure.
Okay. This guy, if I'm just saying, if you look hard enough, or if you don't look hard enough, you're like, this guy kind of sounds like a Democrat, sort of. But I went straight to the apportion part of this. Okay. The Supreme Court, Deb will hit this immediately. Supreme Court returned abortion policy to the states.
No, it didn't.
And Delawareans have been clear where they stand. I oppose a national abortion ban and will not support any federal law that overrides the Delaware law. Like most Americans, I support reasonable limits on late-term abortion. Whoa. What are those limits? He's very vague, and is Republican.
Most late-term abortions in the United States of America are based on health, not based on desire to get rid of your pregnancy. So that's all bullshit. And honestly, this all sounds good, but the fact of the matter is this: just put a Democrat in. because there's no doublespeak there. This guy
Right.
will have absolutely no power in the current GOP, and I doubt very much that they're going to throw much behind him. He's just
Right.
not MAGA enough. And
He's
one
not.
guy
He
in this
really isn't.
climate does nothing. Okay. That's why
Now,
they're all leaving, quite
right.
frankly.
Inflation is affecting every American family, with many Delawareans being hit hardest. We need to get inflation under control and lower prices on consumers. I agree with this. I will pass the Hansen Tax and Price Reduction Act to reduce prices, lower taxes, and reduce interest rates while making government smarter and more efficient.
Okay.
We need to eliminate government activities that provide no real value to you. We have over 400 government agencies, and we need to merge similar agencies to gain synergies, blah, blah, blah. What agencies are you going to get rid of? You getting rid of the Department of Education? What are we doing? Just saying. And there he is, Eric Hansen. Okay.
Yep.
It's the economy, it's education. Those are the issues that cross over every party. By the way, I haven't heard one bit about specifics. I don't know about about his act, but the shrinkflation act that Biden and a lot of Democrats are talking about, um,
Yeah.
that is
The school
concrete.
system's broken. Here's a couple of things. He proposes national school choice and national testing. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. And it says here, Republican has not held one of Delaware's U.S. Senate seats in over 20 years. Let's keep it that way.
Okay, so here's another one. I wanted to hit a couple of the top candidates in this primary. Tim Kaine of Virginia. Okay. News, press releases. On the eve of Affordable Care Act's 14th anniversary, Kaine vows to protect it. Okay, protect Obamacare, basically. Um, Kaine, Young, and Murphy push for accountability following election interference in Pakistan. $1 billion increase for child care praised by Kaine. And let's see news press releases. Yep, same stuff. Why is that there? Go away. See if there's anything. Oh, nice. Mark Warner, and Tim Kaine uh, co-sponsor legislation to support first-generation home buyers. Would provide federal grants administered through local entities to aid first-generation home buyers with qualifying expenses towards purchasing their first homes. And I can say from firsthand experience that will help not only the home buyer potentially, but also the sellers. My brother and I had to sell a house in Virginia recently. And a lot of these home buyers, they're depending on these loans and sometimes they fall through. Maybe this could help them and not help them get something that they ultimately can't afford, but just help them over the hump just a little bit when you need an extra couple grand for whatever. You know, what is this?
It's got something to
Is
do
there
with
anything?
drugs.
Tracking of poisonous trank required analyze National Quantification Act on xylene or trank. Oh, and so it's a narcotic. Okay. So there you go. And there are several uh candidates. Here's some of them. or, Mr. Cow, Mr. Walker Emmord, Craig Ennis, Eddie Garcia, Gwendolyn Hickman, Kimberly Nadine Lowe. Guys, Scott Parkinson is the gentleman who heads this group, Club for Growth. Chuck Smith, Ron Vitiello, and TJ Wallace. I looked at the top two. Okay. Here's Jonathan. Okay. He's a renowned constitutional law and litigation expert. So there you go. Think that's enough. I clicked on some of these endorsements. Dr. Robert Malone, American physician and biochemist, health freedom warrior.
Crank.
Okay. Yeah. Here's another one. Suparna Dutta, Governor Glenn Youngkin's nominee for the Board of Education and a co-founder of the Coalition for Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
So just because someone looks international or whatever doesn't necessarily mean anything. So there you go. Oh, wait a minute. United by our commitment to America's founding principles, we will overcome all threats to individual liberty. We will save Virginia and save America.
Yep, he sure will. All by his little onesie. He's the man.
Join us on the campaign trail. Oh, look, he's got a little flag there.
That's cute, isn't it?
Oh, you want to look at his vision for 2 seconds? Why not? His vision is this.
That's him. It's all about
That's him. And he's got glasses on, too.
It's all about me.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look.
Life. Yeah.
Protect and expand free markets. There we go.
Grant amnesty and immediate prison release to January 6 protesters. End government mandates. Remove impediments to fossil fuels. Any fucking thing else you want to know, folks?
Oh, I want to know this. Hold on. Which prosecutors are we talking about? Hold on.
Okay.
All right. I don't know who these. Oh, the election ID or the voter ID stuff.
He's still blathering on about ballot harvesting.
Yep. We must cut off all federal funding for states, school boards, and schools that authorize school employees or contractors to recommend that students under the age
of teachers or contractors recommend that students change their genders. Can I just state that as someone who lives this life? Okay? Shut the fuck up. I'm so sick of these people.
So this is Jonathan Emmord, and if he wins the damn primary, I know Deb and I are going to be stomping on this guy
all over his shit.
Now, this is Mr. Cow, Hung Cow. Okay, yes, he was he was a refugee in Vietnam. He's a parent of a bunch of kids. But here's what you need to know.
Father, husband, patriot. It never has a word been more misused in this nation as patriot. It's fucking incredible.
Go ahead, Deb. Read it.
What?
The issues. Yeah.
Let's address the elephant in the room. Most Americans believe what happened to President Trump was politically motivated. It's the weaponization of the Justice Department and the basis of a banana republic. Fuck you. What happened to Donald Trump happened to Donald Trump because he's a fucking criminal. And there's a mountain of evidence, and it cannot be denied. He has been charged by a jury of his peers, okay? This is how our system actually works.
And he's actually able to use the word banana republic because
we're in a banana republic because of the Republicans.
right. Okay, so the next one is
And
Pennsylvania.
anytime you get down into this, I don't even want to read it. I can already see Hunter Biden's laptop. I can see all of this text in here. You know what? I give this guy no more shine. He's not getting any more fucking.
No, this is it. When I saw this, when I went into and dug into his thing, this was it. I was like, I'm good. Okay, Bob Casey is running for reelection.
Good.
This is his website. This is, again, I go all to what he's doing, what's going on. Bob Casey responds to new reporting on McCormick's double dealing on China. Bob Casey talks boosting small businesses in West Philadelphia with a state senator. He picks up an endorsement. And again, he's talking about this. Watch Bob Casey talks campaign priorities, his fight on greedflation, shrinkflation, it's the same thing. Companies taking product out of their bags or whatever and selling it at the same price.
Right.
Okay.
Like Doritos.
Yep. We always stomp on Doritos. It's a good example. It's a good example. National spotlight on Bob Casey's fight against corporate greed, price gouging. Yep, shrinkflation. Let's see. Bob Casey delivers critical infrastructure investments for rural Pennsylvania.
And by the way, let me just say that Bob Casey can actually say that, not like Lauren Boebert, who is now boasting about how she got funding for the state of Colorado.
When she voted against
it. Voted against the fucking infrastructure bill. Let's get real, folks, okay?
By the way, yeah, Deb showed me that. I believe it was one particular article where Boebert isn't the only one. Republicans vote against spending bills all the time and then take credit for them.
Absolutely.
So the guy running for the Republicans is Dave McCormick. He did have an office before. He has a battle plan, Deb. He's a seventh generation Pennsylvania.
That's great.
Pennsylvanian and a West Point graduate. Oof. Blah 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 blah. He trimmed Christmas trees.
That's excellent.
That'll be good in the Senate. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
when he says he's gonna be fight for all Americans, does that include fighting for a woman's right to choose and for LGBT and transgender people to have their rights? Do we know that? Because if he's not including that, then he's a liar, and they're all lying. Actually, what they should say is we'll fight for all Americans except people of color, poor people, LGBTQ Americans,
gay people. So he was the deputy national security advisor, starting in 2005. Meet Dave. Dave on the issues. Let's go, Dave, on the issues. There we go. Inflation in the economy. Under Joe Biden, everything costs more.
That's actually not true.
Bob Casey, remember how I tell you guys that they'll always blame the president and tie the senator that he's running against to the president. Bob Casey has blindly supported every disastrous Bidenomics policy that has crushed Pennsylvania families and contributed to our debt spiraling out of control.
It's all such a pack of shit. It's not even funny. And the securing our border thing, let me reiterate this again. The current border bill, which the Republicans chewed up and spit out was a border bill written by the second most conservative Republican in the Senate. And the only reason we haven't secured our borders yet is because fat orange man, whiny fat orange man, whiny fat broke orange man decided he didn't want the border fixed because he wants to use it to run on. That's the simple fucking fact. So these people, as far as I'm concerned, this is all, you know what? I used to write this shit for a living, okay?
Yep.
I know what this is.
This is the Pennsylvania GOP, okay? The Republican Party of Pennsylvania is the only organization solely dedicated to growing the Republican Party and electing Republicans at every level throughout the Commonwealth.
Grand opportunity party. They're gonna be shitting me.
A party of hard workers, lovers of freedom, protectors of the family. We believe in individual rights and responsibilities, except for the right to, abortion, the right to choose health care for your child.
And the responsibility of not supporting a fucking criminal running for president.
Safe communities, excellent education opportunities, parents' rights, secure borders, limited government. Oh, here we go. Oh, I want to see this. This is what we stand for. I want to see who we stand for, Deb. What do you think?
Anyone and everyone who believes in a strong, free America and the ideals on which our country is founded, which so many have sacrificed to protect, including women and LGBTQ and transgender Americans. So let me, tonight when I'm done, I'm going to Mr. fucking Weasel's website and I'm going to send him an email and ask him what his position is.
Yeah.
Do they stand for women and do they stand for all Americans? Because if their vision for all Americans is just white male Americans, then that's not standing for everybody.
So the right here and what they stand for, it's right there. Protecting families. We believe in the right to life, parents' rights to be involved in their child's education, and we believe that families, schools, and students benefit from school choice.
So when these people say that parents have a right to be involved in their child's education, guess what? Now, I have two kids. My kids have been out of school for a while now. I got one that's 23 and one that's 28. I've always been involved in my kids' education without any of this blather. Okay. I don't really need to stop the schools from teaching shit to kids, because if I don't want my kid to do something, you can just opt out. What's wrong with that process? You got a problem with that? You have your kid opt out of something? So instead, it's just like everything else, right? Let's screw the pooch. You want your kid to get a Christian education? Let's force public schools to have prayer and now they want to put chaplains in every school. Wait on that one. That's coming out on a national level, okay? Instead of you paying to send your child to some kind of Christian school, my mother paid to send me to Catholic school. She didn't force the public education system to turn on a dime and expect them to institute Christianity into their school system. All right. I'm tired of all this bullshit. I really am.
Right. I'm not going to read the rest of it, but I mean, that's the big one. And by the way, we believe in the right to life. So we don't believe in the right of women choosing whether or not to have a child.
If they believe in the right to life, then they would be decrying Greg Abbott, who allowed people to drown on his watch. They don't value the right to life. They value the right to a zygote. That's what they value, okay? And that's the end of the story. They don't give a shit about a child once it's spit out, okay? They only care about it when it's not viable.
Okay, so here's Maryland. Everybody knows that that the current senator from Maryland, he is retiring. Okay. Larry Hogan is running. I know there are people who are concerned about that, and people within our group too. But and they should be. They should be concerned because, but here's the thing. This is an article back in 2018. Larry Hogan won his governorship in 2018 because of a backlash against the Democratic Party. Democrats were voting Republican because they were disgusted. Okay. Hopefully those Democrats realize they're wrong now. Um, that's pretty much it. There's one other thing that that is coming out about Larry Hogan, that he's way ahead in the polls. Of course, he's way ahead in the polls because he's the only Republican running right now, and Democrats haven't had their primary yet. And there's a ton of guys running. Okay. Here's America.
Not absolutely not sweating Larry Hogan yet. Okay. I'm not.
Not yet.
Focus on getting our shit together. Okay. And understanding that this is a fact. The GOP, no matter who it is, only wins when Democrats don't come out and vote. And I'm telling you now that 55% is not good enough anymore. Not in this climate. 55% will give an opportunity to the Republican Party to win. If you come out at 60%, it's a landslide. If you come out at 70%, you put the Republicans out of business. The choice is yours. You know, you live in a country where you can vote. And for registered Democratic voters to vote at 55% or 52% actually was the midterm number. To me, that's dismal and it's pathetic.
So for a minute, I want everybody to take a look at the Maryland Republican Party website. The Republican Party has an agenda that is highly unpopular. Their leader is highly unpopular. But one thing that the GOP is, they're very committed and they're stubborn as hell and they are organized. Take a look at this page right here. Days until the Maryland 2024 Republican primary. 50 days, 20 hours, 43 minutes, and 39 seconds. Okay. This is what they are focused on. Okay. Every single Marylander, I hope I got that right. Guys, if you're in the Democratic Party, use this and freaking vote Democrat. I will give you the primary will be coming up. Oh, here's him. I want you. Okay, I want you to see this. This is the one thing that I wanted to point out with him. He's a liar, and he's full of crap. I'm running for the United States Senate, not to serve one party, but to fix our nation's broken politics and fight for Maryland. It's what I did as your governor, and it's exactly how I'll serve you. Hold on. Dear Marylanders, 50 years ago, my father, Maryland Congressman Larry Hogan Sr., made a tough decision. He became the first Republican to come out for the impeachment of President Nixon. He put aside party politics and his own personal considerations have stepped up to do the right thing for Maryland and the nation. Today, Washington is completely broken because that kind of leadership and willingness to put the country over party has become far too rare. Marylanders, you know me, and you know what he is insinuating, and it's absolutely crap. He is insinuating that he went after Trump. He didn't.
He never went after Trump. And if he really cared about this country, honestly, he would be decrying Donald Trump as a candidate right now. He would stand up and he would decry Donald Trump. And he is not. Instead of doing what his father did, he's going to do what all the rest of the Republicans are doing. Okay? He is going to choose his party over this country.
And this is all you need to know about Larry Hogan.
That's it. Deal done. Deal done. Doesn't matter what the fuck his positions are on certain policies, because once Donald Trump is in, he's the authoritarian ruler, and everybody will fall in line behind him because they're falling in line right now before they're even in office.
Now,
this fucking goofy looking bastard. I'm sorry.
this,
I'm sorry.
this, I typically like Politico, but this article is misleading, and I'm going to show you why. Hogan leads Maryland Senate race by double-digit poll shows. Of course he does. Okay. The Democratic primary election is May 14th, 2024. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 listed candidates, which is currently splitting the vote. When you have one, then we'll talk if he's ahead. Okay. So I want to focus on two of these. David Trone. He is.
Did you get Angela also Brooks in there at all?
I did. She's the other one.
Good.
She's the other one. David Trone. He is a House rep. Okay. Meet David. David's works. You know, all that. Let's see here. He does have a store. I want to take a look at his store just for the hell of it. Okay. And he's currently a House rep in this state, so in Maryland. I believe I don't know if I have the story in there. I'm not even going to add it. David Trone, during a hearing, had a gaffe, and it was reported on. He apologized. That's it. If anybody jumps on top of that, because he used inadvertently a racial slur, instead of saying bugaboo, he said something else. Okay. He has apologized. And everybody knew it was accidental, even the Republicans. Okay. So that is different than someone saying that women shouldn't be allowed to vote, or saying that gays are trash or whatever. Okay. So if you want to vote,
filth and maggots were the word, and those weren't gaffes. And
that's North Carolina.
I'm sorry, but I have a really hard time worrying about something like this when we have a presidential candidate who spends his entire life whining and shitting on the general public at every opportunity. So, you know what?
And saying you can grab a woman by the pussy and blah, blah, blah.
You know
I mean, come on.
Don't even fucking talk to me about that shit. I just can't.
Now, this is Angela also Brooks, and she's really good.
He is.
She does have governmental experience, not as a House rep, but county executive of Prince George's County, former state's attorney of Prince George's County, and a full-time domestic violence prosecutor in that same county. So you can take a look at her. And
I like
let's
her
see.
actually.
So here we go. Abortion, education, healthcare, protecting Chesapeake Bay, which is a huge thing. Union, voting rights, protecting democracy, the economy, public safety, criminal justice reform, immigration, equality, agriculture, climate change, gun safety, national security, seniors and veterans. Let's just take. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Is basically at the end is where she talks about actual legislation. Uh, she strongly supports the investments made through the bipartisan infrastructure law to build new roads and bridges, etc. So,
Oh, she's also fought for affordable housing.
yep. Let's see. News. Yep. And club. She got an endorsement.
There you go.
There you go. Patty Murray endorsed her. Uh, yep. So, and by the way, again, I'll go back to David Trone's thing for a second. I just want to see, and this is how you do the store. Okay, you have little items for like $5 or $6 or whatever. Little,
Buttons. I got that.
yep. Yard sign. Okay, the coffee mug. So there you go.
Let's make it. Let's be clear about this. A lot of these people are not taking PAC money. And
Right.
that's where this stuff goes. Okay. It's not like Donald Trump, who literally has an entire grifting website of tchotchkes that are like worth about 50 cents that he's plucking the American public over.
Okay, I have one more I want to talk about. Andy Kim. Okay.
He's a good
He
guy.
was
Too.
awarded Legislator of the Year by New Jersey Veterans of Foreign Wars. Um, by the way, Bob Menendez has decided not to run, and the other Democrat dropped out. And right now, the Jersey Republicans, I believe, they haven't had their primary yet.
So,
So,
so wait a minute now. Menendez is not running at all now.
nope.
Good.
He
Trash. All right.
he's decided to withdraw. Yes,
Good. He needs to
he
go.
has. Yep.
He needs to work on his defense. He's got to face those criminal charges. Let him. We don't need that kind of shit in the Democratic Party. It's time for him to go now.
Now, um how many Republicans have decried the fentanyl crisis or opioids or whatever? A lot. House passes Congressman Kim's bill to expand access to addiction treatment and highlight the dangers of synthetic opioids. This is what you do. I'm just saying. Come here. So, okay, here we go. So, here's a brief summary of the bills Congressman Kim voted for that were signed into law last or like in 2022. Chips and Science Act, Inflation Reduction Act, you know. So Tammy Murphy dropped out. So did what's his name? Menendez. So I didn't even go through these guys.
Yes.
To me, there's no there's no serious candidate yet. Most of these guys don't even have their profile
Right.
up. So I left it for now. And then if someone emerges, we can come back and
Yep.
talk about it. Now, let's see here. If it is in the page. Oh, wait a minute. Uh, let's see. There we go. He's listed as a withdrawn candidate now,
Okay.
Bob Menendez. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that.
Yep.
So here's just a couple more things. Um, hold on. Is this? Oh, this is Andy Kibb's page. Again, his his Andy Kim for Senate page. All right. Now he's already in the House,
Right.
and that's what I showed you before. So again, if you want a relatively progressive candidate, this
Guys.
guy is your guy.
Yep.
But let's go back for a second. I didn't even get a chance yet. I have to give people credit. They contacted NBC. MSNBC is withdrawing their invitation to her. They're withdrawing their invitation to her.
So let me explain what I saw. I saw her this morning.
Yeah.
Right. And her excuse is now she doesn't support. All right. So this is what everybody has to understand about character. Okay. She comes out and says she doesn't support giving the J6 people a pardon. But when she was in the Republican Party, she had to take one for the team. So she couldn't say that. Yeah, but yeah, you can. Okay. You actually can say that. Okay. You just choose not to so you can protect your little position in your little world,
Right.
in spite of what's going on in this country. And this is the problem. We have to start expecting more from the fucking people who are in office. The excuse that she's now able to be free to say that she doesn't support a pardon, that's just pure bullshit. I am so tired of the doublespeak. Ronna McDaniel does not belong anywhere near a news outlet. She has denied the election results. She has literally called NBC a bunch of propagandists. And by
Right.
hiring her, they now are a bunch of propagandists, in my opinion.
Right. Right.
Okay. And she is just a vile human being. And there is no getting away from any of this. But I'm so tired of their excuses. I'm sorry. I mean, what she was essentially saying was, I'm sorry, but I needed to protect my position. So I threw the country to the wolves. So you know
Right.
what? If she were still sitting right now as the head of the RNC, she'd be firmly in Trump's court. And by the way, not only did she do all that shit, but she also admitted to being part of the fake elector scheme, publicly
Right.
admitted.
Right.
So
And by the way,
no,
also when she was recently interviewed, she said, "Yeah, Biden won."
yeah,
No shit.
that's mighty
The
white,
point,
Ronna.
the reason I'm bringing her up is that no matter what it is, you guys, we have a voice. Deb can. My feeling is continue whether they kicked her off and they said we're kicking her off NBC or we're withdrawing that regular thing, but every once in a while we'll put her on NBC. No, no, no. Continue to hammer her. Deb has the contact information. If you can share it, I tried to copy and paste it, but if you can share it.
So let me just tell you right now what you do while we got a couple of minutes. All right. You can send a snail mail letter. And believe it or not, those actually count still,
Yeah.
and they work. It is NBC Viewer Relations, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York, New York, 10012. You can phone them. They have a recorded line where they take calls. I called them last night. 212-614-2333. And then email. You can email them. I also emailed them last night. NBCSHOWS, NBC shows at NBCUNI.com. Let me read that again. NBC shows, all one word, at NBCUNI.com. I believe NBCUNI is,
universal.
Universal.
It's universal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what you can do. And you know what? There have been they've been flooded with calls, texts, emails or whatever. Keep it going. She doesn't want to get anywhere near a microphone.
They've already heard it. They're already responding, but keep going.
Yep.
Keep going. And when any Republican, I don't care how they word it. I don't care, if they try to backtrack or hide from their Trump their Trump relationship. This is it. Okay. And it's right there. Co-chair Laura Trump, right there. Okay.
Because right now, the people running this are Trump loyalists, and he's doing exactly what he said he would do. He's ousting anyone who doesn't promise him complete loyalty. This is what despots do. Okay. They appoint their family members. This is what they do. Okay. And this is what he's doing. Biden's confusion speech, you got to be shitting me. There was no confusion in that speech. On the other hand, if you listen to Donald Trump rambling on every fucking night in his little, grand retribution tour, the man can't even finish a sentence. So let's cut it out already.
For anyone talks about or supports an age limit for anyone running for office in a state, think about what think about it, because you have people who are still useful. Bernie Sanders is still useful. Can I see him running, once he's done at 88? Nah, he'll retire probably.
Yeah, he will.
But they want him in because they know how useful he is. They know how experienced he is. And what kind of upheaval these people leaving creates. Just look at the Feinstein seat. Okay. Right. Now, Deb and I used to say, oh my God, look at how long these people are in. Oh, maybe they should be term limits.
I've changed my mind on that, actually. We're the term limit. We ought to be voting. We ought to be voting with enough regularity, year after year, cycle after cycle, that we are the term limit determiners. That's what we need to do. Okay? That it's all it requires is you participating in government. All right? So let's cut it out and let's get down to basics here. Just take a look at the RNC website now. It's totally Trump, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And not for nothing. It's,
by the way, when they tell you every day they're fighting to keep your country free, this is what they're trying to keep your country free for. They're trying to keep your country free so that your children don't learn about American history. They want to keep your country free, but they want to tell women how to control their bodies. And now they're going after contraception, IVF, and fertility treatments. They want to keep the country free so that they can oppress people who aren't like them, like transgender people. Okay? This is their idea of freedom. It's freedom for the white man. Understand that, okay? It is not freedom for all of us.
So I just clicked on one of these things. Republican Leadership Initiative. You understand what this is? Listen to us, repeat what we say, and you can be part of our group as a leader.
Right.
That's not a leader. They don't want leaders.
They want followers.
They want followers.
They want people who follow Donald Trump down the path to hell. That's what they care
Now,
about right now.
listen to this. So, Republican Leadership Initiative. By becoming a fellow in the Republican Leadership Initiative, you'll have the opportunity to work alongside, which that's not true, it's behind battle tested GOP operatives. You'll learn from the best in data and digital while developing leadership skills needed to build a successful volunteer network. RLI, Republican Leadership Initiative, will teach you the skills you need to be a GOP organizer in the field.
So,
Technology, develop leadership skills, build a dedicated leadership network. What they don't tell you is the cookie cutter message that you need to repeat over and over and over again. So volunteer today, Deb. No, I'm good.
I'd rather stick a red hot poker in my eye.
Protect the vote. What the hell? I just want to know.
Yeah, stand up for election integrity. Protect the vote. No mail-in ballots. Make sure we can't do that. Make sure we have voter IDs when we go in. Make sure we have this. Make sure we have that. They're all full of shit. They're all full of shit. This is the continuation of the big lie.
All right. Well, hold on. What the hell am I doing? Go away. There we go.
So let me just say, I have a question, I mean, I don't know if you saw the whole debacle with Kyle Rittenhouse, have you? You seen that?
Yeah.
Why does he have a service dog? Does he have PTSD from firing his gun?
I don't know.
I'm just curious as to why he needs a fucking service dog. And by the way, when he was pissed off and walking off the stage, did you see the way he jerked that dog's neck? I'd have bit him if I were the dog.
Honestly, I didn't see him actually on the stage. I heard him talking about how he was attacked, how he wasn't allowed to speak, and all that bullshit.
Right. That's right. And you know what? Guess what? The kids that go to that school pay to go there, and they've got a right to do what they did. How's that? He had a right to shoot 3 innocent people and kill 2 of them and get off. Then they have a right to yell that they don't want him at their school. End of story. And by the way, that was Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA that invited him there.
Oh, of course he did. Of course he did. And by the way, does everybody know Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk? I mean, and Nick Fuentes and
that's a grooming group. Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone's grooming your children, it's them. That is politics for grammar school through high school through college kids. That's Republican MAGA politics all the way.
Yep. So, don't know what we're doing yet. For next week, we can. There are a few other Senate races. A lot of those Senate races are basically have been dominated by Republicans. But what the hell? Try to at least make some progress, like North Dakota, Utah, and those states. They're long shots, but they're worth fighting for, obviously. And we could do that, or we can talk about some of the groups that are trying to infiltrate. One way or the other. Or we could start talking about the House races.
Yeah.
We could do that too. Okay. So, but right now that's where we're at. I don't see I see a real pattern with the Republican Party. They all talk in platitudes and in slogans. They don't talk in, well, in December I did this. This is a bill that we passed. This is what it
They're not
does.
doing
They
any,
never
all
talk
the bills
about
they
that.
pass, they're not doing anything except creating chaos. You know, that's all they do. They thrive on chaos. They've got nothing to run on. They've got
Yep.
nothing. They don't want to legislate anything. They're not working for the American people. There's not one bill that they've passed that does anything for the American people. All they do is complain about how Joe Biden doesn't do anything do anything for the American people, and all he does is do shit for the American people. And the problem is he does it quietly. He just does his fucking job. He doesn't need to be on social media every 5 minutes blathering on about Donald Trump.
And by the way, why don't the Democrats in Delaware talk about immigration? Because they're not a border state. Okay, you have freaking Republicans in Vermont and Connecticut and Massachusetts talk about the border. You're not in a border state. It's messaging. That's what it is.
Right.
Okay. The Republicans, they're all about messaging and repeating, no matter where they're at, you know, they're gonna repeat the message, even if it isn't relevant to their state.
Right.
Just so you know. So um that's pretty much what we have for this show. And we will see you next week.
We'll see you next week, gang.